It's one of the hottest topics and trends in business, including real estate, and it seems to be the world's most important currency. Ownership of data, some would argue, is as important as actual dollar revenue these days. So let's talk about it. Why is data so important and valuable? Let's talk about its uses in real estate. My name is David Chiapoco, VP of Marketing at Equiem, and in this video, I'm going to take you through a slightly extended version of a rapid-fire talk I did at Rethink New York in November that covers the usage of data in tenant experience. So I'm going to talk about data in 4 stages. Number 1, why is data important in the first place? Number 2, how do you gather it? Number 3, how do you understand it? And then lastly, what can you actually do with it? So, why is data important? Well, this is what data looks like. This is one version of data called quantitative data. And really, it's just numbers. The difference between numbers and data is that data has context, it has meaning, it has an origin. It is based on reality, either something's happening right now or in the near future. Data helps you understand the world. Here's another set of seemingly random numbers. Can you guess how they're related? You probably wouldn't, because this is about me and this is about Equiem. I wanted to give you guys a short intro to Equiem using data. Clever, I know. So Equiem is the world's global leader in tenant experience. We operate across 200 buildings globally. We have about 145,000 users on our platform. And our platform provides landlords with the ability to provide limitless amenities and services to their tenants. We've been in operations for 8 years. I've been in the company for 8 years. I was employee number 2, and I've been in New York for only about 2 months. And yes, I am fully aware winter is coming, and I am terrified. Thank you for all the warnings. So this is what Equiem looks like. This is our platform. This is our app. This is an idea of some of the services that we provide. But I digress. Enough about me, enough about Equiem. Let's talk about data. As I said, the point is this. Data helps us tell stories. Data helps us understand the world. In fact, you can base virtually every technological leap in humankind to the gathering of data, the tweaking of a system, and then recalculating the results. That is, in fact, the definition of our scientific method. So, in business, as you know, data has many uses. Sales, marketing, operations, logistics, you name it. There's a wide range of value across the business. In this presentation, I wanted to focus on one thing, and that is how data helps us understand what our customers want. The value of which, knowing what our customers want, is, seems obvious, but let me define it for you. Number 1, by knowing what our customers want, you can tailor your product or offering to your customers. You can give them exactly what they want. Number 2, it'll help you understand how to improve your products or services. Number 3, it'll help you also know the best way to deliver your products or services. And then lastly, all that combined will give you a competitive advantage. All of this summarized as improved business results, i.e. increased revenue, if that is the objective of your business. Which is interesting because almost all industries in the world have adopted this view that knowing customer data is paramount. However, you could argue that our industry, commercial real estate, is one of the last to really adopt this philosophy, to really fully embrace customer data as paramount. What I'm talking about is that in our traditional model, landlords still only speak to 5% of the building, i.e. the tenant reps, and ignore the 95%. So at best, the current model of leasing and landlord property management today operates on a very limited data set. We're basing multi-million-dollar decisions, renovations, fit-outs, you name it, the launch of amenities and services on a limited data set. I hate to use the word hunches, but that is effectively what landlords are doing today in the current model, which has been good enough for 4 decades. And for a long time, that limited data set was all you really needed. But that is no longer the case. As you know, tenants today have become more sophisticated. In fact, in a recent study that we released that covers global tenants, over 90% of tenants said that they weren't happy with the current building experience. They wanted more. They wanted more hospitality. They wanted more convenience. They wanted more on-site amenities. And for a landlord, that really means upping your game also and gathering understanding of your customers. So as a landlord, why do you need data? Well, number 1 is to understand your tenants, to understand what they actually mean by amenities and services or hospitality or a sense of community to really deliver what they want. Number two, it'll help you in tenant retention and attraction because you have the data set, a complete view of your customer. And lastly, it'll help you stay ahead of the game, ahead of the global sophistication and competitive nature of commercial real estate. So that's why you need data. So how do you actually gather it in the first place? At Equiem, we've been building this platform and running tenant experience apps for over 8 years. And the one thing we've noticed a lot of people overlook is that you can't just build a platform and expect data to start coming in. Whether you're a Facebook, a Google, an Instagram, you name it, any platform, you have to start with providing value. Without value, you're not going to build a community of users, and without users, you're not going to have the data. Once you have value, and you have an actually engaged audience that repeat usage that comes in organically and uses your platform, then you have an actual basis to start gathering data. Once you have that basis, then you can start gathering data two ways, actively and passively. So passive data collection is just that. You're sitting in the background and you're letting your users do their thing, and you're watching and just gathering any analytics on what they're doing. Platforms like Google Analytics and HubSpot do that. Active is just like that. It's going out there and asking the question, i.e. surveys. Platforms like Qualtrics, SurveyMonkey are examples. In both systems, consent and transparency is paramount, as you know, in today's environment. At Equiem, that's exactly what we do. We use both ways of passive and active data collection. Passively, we gather data on what our users are doing on our app, on desktop and mobile. Whatever they're doing is tracked, anonymized, of course, and then pulled into an analytics engine. On the active side of things, we also run custom polls and surveys for our clients. Whatever they want to know about tenants, we can put together a poll and survey in seconds. The difference between an Equiem survey and poll is that we can launch one to over 4,000 occupants and get a 90% capture rate in 2 hours, which is lightning fast compared to the traditional system. Much more efficient, costs a lot less. So that's how you gather data. How do you actually understand it? Well, data, when it comes in, just comes in like heaps of numbers. And a whole industry has really sprung up to help companies understand their data. You might already be using some of these platforms like Tableau, Qualtrics, Zoho. At Equiem, we built our own platform. There wasn't really anything up to par that helps you understand what your tenants want. And so we built Equiem Analytics, and we just launched it this year. It's part of our Equiem Next upgrade, one of the biggest upgrades and updates to our platform. So what is Equiem Analytics? The goal of Equiem Analytics is to provide you with data on your tenants to understand your customers inside and out. You can think of it as Google Analytics for your building. It'll help landlords understand their tenants and provide them with actionable intelligence. That's the main thing we wanted to do with this product, is to give them actionable, insightful intelligence to actually do something with. So just to give you an idea of the power of tenant analytics in terms of tenant experience, here's some real data we've pulled from our platform today. We've had to blur out some of the data, obviously for privacy reasons, but this will give you an idea of the power that you can start gathering already live today that Equiem clients are taking advantage of. Starting from the most basic, you could answer questions such as, who is in my building? What companies are there? And how many occupants does each company have? You'll be surprised at how sophisticated and complex it is to gather this information without a platform like ours. And then you can start progressing to something more sophisticated. For example, is our events programming actually working? Which of our tenants are attending? Which aren't? How many are attending? How many RSVPs did we get last week, last month, compared to last quarter? Which of my buildings are most engaged? Which ones are going to my events, purchasing my services? Of the various services and amenities that I offer, what are they using? What are they purchasing? How much are we making? How often are they being used? Which ones aren't being used? Which of my tenants are actually using my platform? And of those, what are they doing on it throughout the day? What are they doing in the morning versus the afternoon? You can even go as granular as what categories of content are they most interested in? What are they reading on a Monday versus a Friday? That's just some examples of data that our clients can already gather with our platform. So now that you have data, you're starting to understand it, what do you actually do with it? Well, it's obvious because it is. What you do with data is you revise your strategy and continue to improve your solution. At Equiem, we continually improve our tenant engagement strategy with our clients. We work with them month on month to look at results, and we adjust our strategy and service offering accordingly. This means that whenever we're always on top of changing tenant demands and expectations, and we're basing virtually every decision on intelligence rather than hunches. That means that as a landlord, you're mitigating your risk and your investment because all of these cost money. Obviously, every service and amenity you offer tenants costs money, but what we're doing is mitigating and minimizing the risk to yourself and maximizing the ROI. Once you alter your strategy, then all you really do is test and repeat your results. With a platform that acquires data, you can keep doing this and refining your strategy going forward. I've got 3 rapid fire case studies for you, real world examples of landlords that have used data. Number one landlord was looking to renovate their lockers for male and females. What they found, however, through their data and their analytics platform was that only the female lockers were being used. And so they scrapped the full renovation plan and decided to renovate the female lockers only and launch a marketing campaign using the Equiem platform to promote the male lockers. In the end, they were able to save money, but still up their utilization of those facilities, i.e. maximizing the ROI. Similarly, another landlord here in New York launched bookable meeting rooms in one of their buildings in their portfolio. What they found, however, was only one building was using the facilities and booking it, and so they dug deeper as to why that was. They used that intelligence to promote the facility across their other portfolio of buildings, and in the end, they were able to up the utilization of that facility as well, including increasing their revenue generation. Lastly, this is quite a basic example, but still very powerful. One of our landlords assumed that their tenants wanted boxing classes after work. What they found out using our platform was that the tenants actually wanted yoga classes during lunchtime hours, and so they changed their service offering to that, and their tenant satisfaction increased. Those are some 3 really simple examples, but it'll start to give you the power of data in real estate. Now, the future of data in real estate is what we call it predictive analytics. Now, this is going to be a new field that's going to be growing in the next year to 2-3 years. And at Equiem, we're already starting to explore this. In fact, our clients already have access to the very early stages of this in our platform. Predictive analytics enables you to foresee the future with some certainty using historical data and projections. It'll really help landlords answer some really powerful questions, such as which of my tenants are most likely to renew? What events or programming will my tenants want next year? Even how much revenue could I generate if I launched X amenity next year? All these questions are possible to be answered because machine learning and AI is able to crunch huge amounts of data and give you projections and estimations of results. So, in closing, I wanted to close on another set of numbers. This one is interesting. This was from a Deloitte study of over 500 real estate institutional investors who, by the way, 90% believe prop tech will be significant in their model in the future. The number 1 and 2 priorities that they said real estate companies need to focus on, ahead of IoT and ahead of every trend, spatial, geospatial technology, you name it, Number 1 and 2 was predictive analytics and business intelligence. They believed that if landlords wanted to compete in this changing landscape of changing tenant expectations, then agility via data, i.e., being able to adjust changing tenant expectations, will be key. So, 4 takeaway questions for you to ask yourself after this presentation is: number 1, what data is important to your business? Number 2, how would you gather it? Number 3, how would you understand it? And lastly, what would you do with it? Thank you.